Welcome to Cohesive Friendship Unit. I'm Chris. I am here with Jake
Hey guys.
and Brian.
What's going on?
Guys, I have a theory. I have a theory that Microsoft is on the pivot. Brian, how did you describe Microsoft the past few?
They have a fork in the road. They have a choice to make. They can either go the right way or they can fuck all this up.
Oh no, I meant the tough love that you had previously given them.
Oh, that they were vomiting all over themselves.
Yes,
like that's the choice they have to make. They can continue with that lifestyle. They could be like, get everyone excited and be like, hey, but guys, just wait, and then like pull down their pants and vomit all over themselves.
All right.
Or they could like become a decent company.
So
that's the choice they have.
My thought here is that Microsoft is on the pivot. Starting today, they had a great stream. They announced Halo Master Chief Collection is coming to not just the PC, but coming to Steam. It's the first Halo game in over a decade coming natively to Windows, and we're getting a ton of them, and it's on Steam. They showed their new streaming service. There's a new discless Xbox coming soon that's going to target a really cheap price point. We can talk about the pros and cons of that later. Xbox Live is coming to Nintendo Switch. That's going to be revealed more in the next coming weeks at the Game Developer Conference. And then there's a few rumors out there. There's rumors that Xbox Game Pass is going to be coming to Nintendo Switch. And I think Xbox Game Pass is another just good thing. It's 100 games for $120 a month, or $120 a year that you can just download and play. Yeah, that would be a lot. And this is all kind of coming on the head of Sony not going to E3 this year. And the new consoles are right around the corner. Microsoft just bought a bunch of studios. I think they're right up, they're at their crowning, dude. It's about to happen. I think they're building their blocks and they're ready to show off. But before we get into all this, we are doing a giveaway. All you have to do is be subscribed to the channel. Every 10 subs, we give away one Steam code. If you want more information, you can comment on this video. I'll respond. Or you can check out our channel page. So what do you guys think? And we can reference any of these points that I just said.
So, I don't think it's like I don't know how to describe. I don't think it's like a change of heart so much as it is like looking at the economic facts of things and saying, hey, like most PC gamers are using Steam, and
you mean the Halo thing?
Right? Yeah. Well, with regards to that, like the Xbox thing, you know, how much is a terabyte of storage now on a hard drive?
Nothing.
Right. So you could put 2 terabyte hard drives in that. 3 tera, you know, however many you want, and just download. As long as it's not games as a service, I think that's a fantastic idea.
Well, so yeah, and I mean, this is something to note. The Blu-ray disc on the Xbox One is obviously a Sony product. So
and
you bet they're paying a lot for that, and the discs that they print on it.
Well, there's the discs and there's the drives too.
That's what I'm saying. Like the drives, they have to buy from Sony.
That's
right. Sony's tech.
And it's not exactly like earth shattering anymore, but you know, they're still paying for that. And if you could just replace all that with a hard drive and download stuff over the internet, we have the storage capabilities to do that now. So I think it makes, like, I think all of these things just make sense. And it's kind of like Microsoft is looking up and saying, oh shit, like we're not doing the right thing here, guys.
And
which is good.
And the best part is that they don't even need to pack like a massive high terabyte drive in there with the announce of their big new streaming service. They really don't need a hard drive, period. They can just stream all their games from their new service, which is called Project xCloud, which looked great, by the way.
I think that there's still going to be a demand for games that you can own, even if it's not like physical media anymore, like a file that you can own.
There's still a demand.
Yeah,
they'll have a hard drive, but
I'm not saying it's going to go away. Yeah. But even if they deliver you with like a 2 terabyte hard drive, games are coming in at like 50 gigs plus nowadays. Some are 100 plus gigs, so it's not like you can fit that many high quality games on your 2 terabyte hard drive anymore. So with Project xCloud, you can just stream the games you want and keep the ones that you want on local disk.
Yeah, I mean, like, give people the option. That's all I'm saying. Like, if you want to stream, that's fine. If you want to, I prefer to own my shit if I pay for it. But that's a personal thing. Everybody's different, and I think that if you put a relatively limited capacity hard drive in it, that's probably a smart move from a sales standpoint.
Well, they also support upgradable storage that you can put in any hard drive you want, really.
Well, and they have a lot of them have USB ports too. Like the 360 had USB. Does the one have?
The one has USB. Yeah. Yeah. I think that they're being extremely forward thinking in a time where Sony's not. And to be fair, Sony doesn't have to be. But
no, they don't.
This is like we're like getting ready to drop the next generation of consoles. They'll probably be announced next year or later this year. And Sony's not going to E3 while Microsoft is saying, hey, we're going to be able to play Xbox One games on your smartphone. We're going to be able to play Xbox One games for $100, and you can buy that platform, and probably once our streaming service comes out, you'll be able to stream the next gen on that platform also. They're saying, we have backwards compatibility for a huge number of games. We have this program where you spend $60 for 6 months or $120 a year to get just an enormous library of Microsoft games, including every single first-party Microsoft game. Even though there aren't that many, and they're generally not nearly as good as Sony's, it's still pretty cool that for $120 you can get every Halo game, Crackdown, every Forza game, Sea of Thieves, literally every first-party Xbox release, plus like dozens of other games.
Well, and go ahead.
They're giving options at a lot of price points in a lot of ways. You can really just pick however you want to do things.
Yeah, and it's interesting that Microsoft is like you said, Sony's been the top dog this year. They had amazing games release and they crushed Microsoft. But here comes Microsoft with not really better games, but kind of groundbreaking technology that's really shaking up the console industry, really the whole gaming industry, to be honest. I mean, we both checked out Google Project Stream, and that was great. xCloud is the same thing. So, I mean, they're just like, Sony did a great job, but Xbox is coming in like 10 steps ahead of them with all the things that they're announcing here.
Well, I'm going to disagree. Like, I think they're just staying in tune with the times. I think that this game's, like, the streaming thing, it's going to be huge. Like, I think that there's a lot of competition in that market. But what I think Microsoft has realized is they can't do what Sony does. They can't do what Nintendo does and just kind of do their own thing, because Sony and Nintendo have huge first-party, captive first-party studios. Microsoft doesn't have that. They're kind of I don't know really how to describe
that. That being said, they did just buy a shitload of studios.
Right, well, so they may get that.
I think that that's an effort. I think it's more of a realization of what's going on and trying to keep up with that. And I don't necessarily agree that this is going to be revolutionary. I think it's going to be a strong competitor in a field that's going to be pretty crowded within the next year and a half, 2 years, whatever, when these things start coming out.
I would say they're getting their ducks in a row where Sony just isn't. Or if they are, they're doing it very much under
but Sony can afford not to. Sony can rest on not really their laurels, but in a sense their laurels. Like they have a lot of first-party titles, first-party studios that have a lot of following. They have a lot of people that, the new PlayStation comes out and it's like the new iPhone. Like, people are lined up to buy that shit. So they can kind of depend on that. And Nintendo is pretty much the same thing. They're off in their own world doing their own thing. Microsoft, they can't afford that. If they want to stay in the market, they can't afford that, because they don't have the captive first parties, even with all the stuff they bought.
So I don't think that Sony has that first party audience either. I mean, they had good for exclusive games this year, but they're not like Nintendo that has.
They're getting there.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, they don't. I can't. It's been 1 year. I can't really say that they are like an established audience. Like people come out for Pokemon and Mario and Fire Emblem, Smash Bros, and all of that. So I wouldn't say that they do the same for Sony.
Yeah, I think they are getting there though. Like the Uncharted games, the Last of Us games, God of War is now, I would say, like a huge deal. I think they're definitely building.
And I think that
so. Definitely less so.
Yeah, and so I was saying that I think Microsoft is coming in at a different area than Sony, and to kind of elaborate on that, I don't think Microsoft is really trying to compete with the exclusive titles. I mean, I would argue, are not in that market at all because they already support PC and Xbox. So they don't really have an interest in making first party. And the fact that they're releasing their flagship Halo Master Chief Collection on Steam, it kind of signals to me that they're really not going to target the exclusive audience. They're coming with this dope new Xbox with kind of technology that makes it seem like, why would I ever buy a PlayStation when I can hook up to Project xCloud, get my Game Pass, and play unlimited games for pretty much the same price as a PlayStation.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, just, we don't care about exclusivity, we just want you on our platform. They have the benefit of owning the Windows platform also, which helps.
I think it's more them realizing that they've been kind of following everybody else, like we have whatever degree first parties in our stable, and that's kind of what we're selling our systems on. I think they're kind of realizing that they don't have the ability to do that, and the Steam stuff all lines up. They don't have that stable to whatever degree, and you gotta know where your segment of the market is, and I think they're starting to come around to that.
So I do want to talk briefly about this is the most out there rumor, but there are many reports of it actually happening. So I think a lot of big outlets are saying it's legit, it's gonna happen. It seems like Game Pass is gonna come to Nintendo Switch, and Xbox Live is 100% coming to Nintendo Switch. It has been announced by Microsoft. The capacity is still a little unknown, but like trophies and stuff will transfer, or achievements and stuff will transfer. But I think that just kind of speaks to what Jake was saying on the exclusivity. Like, if you can play Halo on a Nintendo Switch, like, holy shit,
that would be wild.
That'd be fucking weird.
But it almost makes sense, because if they are, I mean, so I have mentioned Project xCloud like 100 times, so I want to talk about that with you in a bit, Chris. But if you're releasing something that essentially says, I don't need a console anymore, why wouldn't you roll out technology to bring what you have to every console?
Everything. Yeah, so make it so you can play Halo on your smartphone, you can play it on Steam, you can play it on your Switch.
Right. So, like I said, I wanted to talk about xCloud as well, and I specifically want to hear your thoughts, Chris, because we both checked out Google's Project Stream, and I think it's safe to say that was pretty mind-blowing what they had there. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on their xCloud.
Yeah, I mean, it was certainly more impressive than I thought it was going to be, just from like hearing things like OnLive, and Sony had a streaming service. Everyone said that there was input latency issues. But this worked. This was basically lagless, and the artifacting was kept to a minimum. The only thing that like I think is being falsely advertised or misled is you're not going to be doing this on your 4G connection. Like,
no,
they show you doing it on your phone, and maybe you'll do it on your phone in your bed, but you're not gonna like in the thing that they were doing earlier today, the stream, the girl was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this on the London train," and the guy was like, "Yeah." It's like, no, you're not. You're not gonna do this on the train, dude.
There's no
you're
chance.
You're gonna do this with the best Wi-Fi absolutely possible. Like not hotel Wi-Fi, not Starbucks Wi-Fi. You're gonna have like your house expensive ass Wi-Fi, or realistically, you're gonna be Ethernetted into something.
Yeah, and for the record, when I was playing Project Stream, I mean, I was seeing 1 megabyte up and down connections on my Wi-Fi, which is unheard of. I mean, I usually get a couple hundred kilobytes up and down. So whatever they have set up, you max out your bandwidth pretty quickly with these streaming services. So like you said, with the current infrastructure we have, it's going to be essentially a home console without a Ethernet connection or without a hard drive kind of thing. But it's still, it's amazing that they got the quality they had, especially with Project Stream. And I'm assuming they'll get there, if they're not already there, with xCloud.
Yeah. Cool. Well, it's like this is the most positive video we've had on Microsoft, I'd say, and like almost debatably ever.
I wouldn't even say debatably. I'd say probably ever.
Definitive. Except for our Halo videos, because Halo is amazing.
True. Yeah. I mean, I'm good if you guys are good.
Yeah, there was so much in this and it was all good.
Yeah. All right. Well, Brian, do you want to tell our viewers what's what?
Yeah. Well, if you're just waiting for Microsoft to come out with a fully integrated TV or something like that, or maybe just a plug that goes in the side of your head and you can plug in your Ethernet cable into that.
Just play Halo.
You're hoping that's
close your eyes.
Play Halo in your mind. If you're thinking about that, go ahead and hammer it on down in the word box. Let us know about it. And like Chris said at the beginning of the video, we are giving away some dank Steam codes, and we do have a veritable shit ton of said dank Steam codes. So if you go ahead and subscribe to this channel, you'll be automatically entered into a chance to win one of those Steam codes. You know, if you watched it this far, you probably liked it, and we got a ton more content like this, so you'll probably like the rest of our videos too. So yeah, and smoke them if you got them, guys. That's all for me tonight, Chris.
All right. Thank you, Brian. We'll catch you guys next time.